So let's recap the week of March 17th to March 21st. I'm releasing this on Friday the 21st. I'm Brian. I'm a big dumb animal. That's what I always say. So informational purposes, don't do what I do. Now, what I want to talk about is major events that happened this week that I would call catalysts, things that could help push us into a bull market, and then look at confirmations. Are we in an alt season bull market yet? And then what you can do. First, if you'll bear with me, 4 quick things. This is my new Twitter, or my new X account. You'll see a link down below. I'm moving all my crypto content over to this one, the official account, Crypto for the Rest of Us. There's a link down below. Take a look. Scroll down, like the show you're watching now. You'll see this and a little more link. When you click more, it goes over multiple things here. For example, I've also got a crypto school where I've got multiple classes on teaching you all things, beginner, intermediate, advanced, adding more all the time. Take a look at that. That was the second thing. I'm also partnering up with this Blowfin, which is an exchange where you can buy, sell, swap. And they have an offer until April 3rd if you use my affiliate link down below. And if you use my affiliate link, I do make some money from it. I also need to disclaim that. So it talks about what you can get in bonuses. There'll be a link to that on my x.com page. Here's what Blowfin looks like. It's like any other that you've seen. They've been growing very fast. I talked to one of the individuals, nice individual, filled me in on everything they're doing. 2 things I want to point out. If you go to Spot, it looks like and operates just like any other order book. And you can look up whichever one you might be interested in with all the charting. But what I really like is, I'm not going to get into it now, but it's called copy trading. And you can go in and look at what others do. And they put up the information. You can see how they do and what type of return they get, and you can actually copy their trades, and I believe you can automate it. That was the third thing. And lastly, if you do go to my channel page, there's a membership and a join button, and I put posts about all these videos, so if you want to be able to take a look and comment on them without getting all of the spam and that sort of thing, it also helps me out. I'd appreciate that. All right, let's talk about some of the major things that happened this week. First up, you'll see here, it was Jerome Powell, and he spoke. We know that the Fed spoke, and that was earlier this week, 2 days, and then they discussed what they did or didn't do and why it mattered. At the end of 2024, they alluded to the fact that in 2025, 2 things, they might start to drop rates by a total of about 0.5 at some point. No one thought it was going to happen early on. So what happened was they didn't drop rates, and that's what people basically expected. So that was on par for what they thought was going to happen, and we'll see what happens at the end of the year. The second thing, you've got quantitative tightening and quantitative easing. We want some quantitative easing to put more liquidity back in. They've been tightening since 2022, and I think it was June. Don't hold me to that, but they've been tightening for quite a while. And they said they're going to slow that down. And I think they said April 1st, they're going to start slowing it down. And then who knows, in the future, we might have some quantitative easing. That's good because it puts more liquidity in the market. So that was the first major event that happened this week that everyone was paying attention to. And that's why the market seemed to move up a little bit across the board. For many reasons, that could be one of them because that was positive. It's what people expected. All right, that was Jerome Powell. The second thing that happened was we had Trump talk at the Asset Summit. And you can watch the video of what he spoke about, but essentially he said a couple things. One, he wants the United States to be at the forefront of the crypto movement, if you will. Now that means it could mean many things. He didn't say exactly, didn't mean if he's going to lower taxes on investing. He didn't say if he's going to, give some benefits to companies to be based in the US. He did talk about more regulation, particularly with respect to stable coins. I think that's huge. He wants to keep the dollar in the forefront of the world's economy. So the dollar backing stable coins is very important. In markets, businesses, everyone likes to have stability, and regulations to some extent are good because you got to know the rules of the game or you don't know how to play the game. That was the second thing. The third thing that he talked about was the government's got Bitcoin, and in the past, they had sold some of it. They're not going to sell it. They're going to hold on to it. So it just solidifies the fact that for the first time in American history, obviously, because crypto is fairly new, we've got a president that says, I'm behind crypto. I've created a group to deal with the issues, and to help push it forward and to give some rules so that we can all benefit in the United States and in the whole world. Because hopefully, if the US is doing these sort of positive movements, other countries will do the same. The third thing, which I thought was really interesting, was at that crypto summit, and I put a little video of it here. I'll put a link down below. It's only a minute, but it's worth listening to. Saylor spoke, and it was excellent. I always love to hear what he has to say, particularly with respect to Bitcoin. The minute that I cut out was when he was giving an analogy as to why he believes you should invest for the future in Bitcoin and not other commodities, whether it be gold or silver, and he points out some reasons why. I thought it was really funny the way he delivered it. So if you don't mind, use the link down below, watch the video. It's on my x.com, and then hit the subscribe button. All right. Those three things I call catalysts, meaning they're events that can help push the market in a positive direction, the crypto market. So now let's talk about, well, are we in an alt season? Are our altcoins going to start going up? Well, let's talk about that. FOMO, fear of missing out, I saw this week was all over x.com. People talking about, oh, we're in altcoin season. Everything's going to explode. These things are wonderful. Now it starts. Okay, slow down. Take a deep breath. Let's take a look. If we look at something like the altcoin season index, we've talked about this before. It's on a 21 out of 100. The higher the number, closer to 7, you're in alt season, it's only at a 21. How do they calculate it? They take 100 top coins and they compare them to Bitcoin. And they say which ones have outperformed Bitcoin in the last 90 days. These green ones have. As you can see, that's nowhere near 100. The majority of them have not, which is why you get a 21 out of 100, meaning 21 of them have outperformed Bitcoin, the rest have not. So this says not yet in an altcoin season. That's okay. Next thing. I've spoken about this before. Many people do, and that is Bitcoin dominance. Typically, doesn't mean it's always the case. You will see that the dominance of Bitcoin in the market, which is, if you go to TradingView, BTC.D, here is the percentage of the market, 61% of the entire market cap. If you added up all, pretty much all, of the crypto's market caps, you put them all together, you come up with a number, and you say, what percent of that is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's at 61%. It was lower down here, but look how high it is up here. Before altcoin seasons, usually this starts to drop. Once that starts to drop, then money theoretically is moving into other alts, Ethereum, etc., and everything else. When does that happen? I love Pi Cycle Top Indicator, 2 long moving averages. You can take a look, but essentially these two need to cross. Once they cross, like they did back here, Bitcoin dominance will start to drop. They haven't crossed, and they're actually not that close, but it could happen fairly quickly. And usually within 3 days of that cross, then we see Bitcoin dominance drop. So I'm looking for these as confirmations. The last thing is money supply. Now let's just look at Ethereum here on a weekly. That Ethereum is the red and green up and down. You can put in anything here. If you look at a weekly, this is the M2 money supply. And as you can see, this is the last Ethereum price. However, why is this black line in the future? It's in the future because there's a 10-week lag. I didn't figure this out. Someone very smart did. And they said it's about a 10-week lag, or you can do it on a daily for 70 days, but this seems to work best. So it's interesting how the Ethereum price has come down as money supply has come down. Less money in the market, so prices come down. More money in the market, more people trying to obtain those same things, prices go up. So notice that here, this is March 24th, starting next week. The 10-week lag will start to kick in. So essentially this money supply that's been going up for 10 weeks has finally started to work its way into the system. It doesn't happen immediately. So if that's the case, and that you can see this on many different charts, particularly Bitcoin, but I'm just showing Ethereum, look how it's gone down. Money supply has gone down. We would like to see that everything starts to move up, starting with Bitcoin, meaning the prices start to move up in a line with money supply, and we want to see money supply continue to go up. So this is a forward-looking indicator. Now, what's interesting about this is I want to see what happens next week. That would be yet another confirmation. I want to see things start to move up. I want to see Bitcoin dominance start to come down, and then I'll say, okay, I'm in an altcoin season. Great. And by the way, in my school community, I'm going to put a video on how you can just apply this to any chart within TradingView. Lastly, well, what do we do? Well, you can look at it two different ways. Well, multiple ways. But you can say to yourself, like, look at Ethereum as it's been coming down. And I've bought Ethereum at all kinds of different prices. And you've seen most all your coins looking like this. So the question is, could they continue to go lower? Well, sure. Personally, before I buy any other coins, I want to see confirmation that some of these things like Bitcoin dominance is falling, the pi cycle indicators crossed, things are starting to move up next week and align with money supply before I even say to myself, we might be at a bottom. So if you were to buy, just realize you might buy again and again and again because it could continue to go down. Or you just wait till prices start to move up. Well, the good part about buying now or next week is if they're coming down is your dollar cost averaging down. Of course, you could run out of money and you never know what the bottom is. If you want to wait like I'm doing now to buy anything else until the money goes up, well, of course, then I'm going to pay a little more, but at least I'm going to feel a little more confident that we started that altcoin bull run. So I'm not telling you how to interpret this. I'm just showing you what I do. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, this is a lot going down. Forget all the noise and what everyone's talking about and what they're all posting. It's still been going down. Let's see what happens next week, starting the 24th. I'd like to see things start to move up in line with money supply, and then Bitcoin dominance. We'll keep an eye on that. Thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful. Sometimes it's good to look at the charts and know the difference between a catalyst, an event that can push markets forward, versus confirmation that the market's going in the direction you think it's going to go in. Hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto. That's why I do these shows. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.